to start with an Apocalypse here because why would we go anywhere else, PJ? Nothing's changed in 2 weeks.
I love Apocalypse. It's my favorite stage for sure.
I know you love APOC.
It's very exciting. I do think that this will definitely benefit versus the Axe and the Hammer, which, you know, a lot of players like to go to smaller stages versus them, and it really makes it smothering. So you have a soft platform to rely on as Mounir starts the smothering game, the wall that Axe can be, and slowly encroaching on the corner. Mevv getting a nice reversal down there, but Mounir putting the wall up and holding quite strong. I mean, it's been so much damage already, like barbecue sauce red on the Axe, gets the side air there, and Mounir is starting off very dominant.
Yeah, I would say incredibly so. You know, getting that weapon immediately, tossing the hammer away, wanting to stick with the Axe because Axe is cool and it's good. So, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Definitely not, and we're already seeing just the dominance of Axe versus the Gauntlets, but as I say that, Mevv gets a sidelight into recovery, close out that stock. I'm very interested to see how the Orb plays a part of Mev's kit here versus the Teros. Of course, you're seeing already a pretty good start versus the Axe, but one of the difficulties is Orb likes to be in the air, and I think that downlight's going to be a great way to just really punish Orb for going aerial. As I say that, though, Mevv getting a juggle with the recovery and looking to extend it there, but a lot of recovery whiffs means Axe gets to hit you, and it only takes a couple more hits for Mounir to close out the stock.
Yep, there we go. Gets that side light to the Sair to kind of put him off to the side. Yep, once again to the other direction.
Ooh, weapon toss into the nair. Nice stuff for Mounir. Understanding Mevv wants to jump, dropping the combo there on the GC downlight. That could have been a big positional advantage as well as potentially unarming Mev's Orb, which has been pretty solid so far. Mounir just needing that one hit, but Mevv getting the sidelight sider with the weapon toss up as well. Doesn't chase with the recovery. I thought Mevv would go for it, but instead the sidelight catches the high recovery near the wall, and that's going to be Mevv taking the stock and taking the lead.
The fact that like Mevv started off in like such a rough state and has just battled back to now having a pretty decent lead is pretty incredible to see. Being able to keep that up, we'll see how that works out. But oh man, that's really unfortunate. But Mounir, no stranger to battling back, as you can see right there. A little bit behind still, but that's like in that faint yellow. Really has a lot of time to turn this around. You know, you can really slow things down here, especially when you're Teros. You're kind of slow as it is, but your opponent has to respect a lot of your potential options. It just, you know, putting down any damage, any combos or whatever. So like you get to slow the game down as you want.
Yeah, and as you're seeing this already, the damage somewhat equalizing here as Mevv looks to get those ones and twosies, as you like to call them. And I mean, it's very important to continue the pace as Orb. You really need to control that tempo, because if you let Teros get back in the game, which Mevv does not, it can get really bad. But Mevv looking very solidly on the Orb there. And I was interested to see how the Orb was going to play a part, because we saw Mevv leaning heavily to the Gauntlets early on, but the Orb actually doing really, really well, really smothering, very oppressive weapon. 377 damage on it too, and good stuff from Mevv.
Yeah, honestly, there's really not much else to say about that. Yep. I mean, the beginning was definitely a little bit rough, and you know, we expect Mounir to make some pretty good adaptations into this game too, but if I'm Mevv, I just need to clean up just that beginning, because the rest of your gameplay was fine, but that early start was definitely a little bit rough, and we are going to be seeing a switch here off the Roman Reigns into the Dhalsim, so we'll see how this plays out, but like, I don't know, this definitely changes up the game plan quite a bit.
Yeah, I definitely think you have a pretty solid signature kit into the Orb here, especially on the recovery, if you can force Mevv to recover low on Orb, but so far Mevv just picking up where he left off with this momentum, looking to find a KO there with the ground pound. Mounir gets the exhausted recovery, but that down sig on the Dhalsim is going to be very good at covering that wall. With the unarmed, gets that dash jump nair and some space to pick up an Orb, and this Orb has been what Mevv has taken to the bank in that game number 1. We'll see if he can continue going for the side B, or side sig there, but didn't find the connection. Mounir getting a recovery, and overall, the Orb not working out as well as Mounir gets the first stock with that recovery.
All right. Now back onto the stage here, and this is kind of like what we were seeing last game too. But, you know, we'll see if Mevv has got another one back in the tank to be able to make another turnaround. And, you know, off to a good start here. But now I want to see you be able to, you know, take advantage, get some of that extra lead going on, put some damage down. But you allow Mounir to get those gauntlets, but it does not really matter too much. That Orb definitely going to get a little bit going, but Mounir answering right back with a combo of their own.
Yeah, I definitely like the switch to Dhalsim. I think the hammer wasn't working out as well. So you see Mounir picking up the gauntlets and saying, I want to get in your face. I want to make it very, very difficult for you to create those really oppressive situations on Orb. And you see the stacking working really well for Mounir. Even on dodge reads, not swinging, but still staying on top of Mevv and forcing those defensive options. Nice. Oh, what a catch on that down, like off off the platform and finds the ground pound as well as the N-Sig to close out that stock. Very clean stuff from Mounir, picking up the axe and really running away with that damage lead, getting the stock as well.
Yeah, and this is where I really expected from Mounir coming into the second game. Definitely looking a lot more composed. You know, just obviously taking that first stock. Things got a little bit shaky just for a very, very little bit, but Mounir exactly, you know, found his rhythm pretty quickly and just kept this lead going here. Now, barely just getting into that dark red, actually going to be enough to be able to lose that stock, but also Petra, you know, this hits like a truck sometimes.
Yeah, even on the defense stance is going to have so much force on that recovery, even on the Fortress. Nice down light from Mevv to continue this juggle game. I like the juggle versus the gauntlets, but it can so quickly turn bad if Mounir can close out this edge guard. Didn't find the conversion, but still with the recovery and nair making it very difficult for Mevv to get back.
There we go. Boom bop. A little bit of a pummel game going on here, just racking up that damage, setting him up for the scenario to close this out. Not going to get that hit, but that will certainly clean that up, and Mounir is going to be able to take that game too pretty confidently, I would say. I mean, not as quite as dominant as maybe I was expecting out of a Game 2 adaptation, but still, that's a good enough adaptation to get the W and going into a pretty neutral Game 3 here.
Yeah, I think notably the Gauntlet's really working out there. The Hammer didn't find much success, but you see the Gauntlets getting a lot of damage and finding the last KO there with that side sig, which is deceptively horizontal, or vertical. But nonetheless, I think, you know, I was talking about that, the Dalsim Sig kid being very good into the orb recoveries.
Look how tall she is.
Yeah, she's tall.
She's so tall. Dalsim's like, whoa, lady, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. Jeez. Why is she so big?
Dalsim really looks like, I don't want to fight.
He's like, ma'am, please. All right, getting into Game 3 here, though. No character switches going into this. Mounir still going to be in that Dalsim, and that Dalsim honestly is looking pretty solid too. So, you know, I definitely think, you know, switching up, bringing these gauntlets into play, but still maintaining that axe is definitely huge.
Yeah, you want, you know, a ranged weapon, especially in this current meta, axe being very strong, but gauntlets has the kind of mold breaker to disrupt the momentum that Mevv's trying to build up here, as well as just being able to take over the speed of the match. I think Mevv trying to slow it down on the orb, but the gauntlets flip it so quickly, and I like that from Mounir. Getting the about 100 damage, switching over to the axe immediately into the gauntlets, get off the mirror, become that much more scary. Nice N-Sig attempt there, didn't find the connection, but Mevv... Hey, nonetheless, I do like the legend picks from Mounir. It's been working out so far, but I think...
Keep going.
Yeah, I mean...
You stopped in the middle of... Don't look at me like I'm supposed to pick up your mess. You dropped that. That wasn't me.
Yeah, no, I think the one thing that I wanted to highlight a little bit more was we were seeing Mounir's Sig usage versus the Petra Orb, and I think that's really important in this matchup, as well as just in general versus Orb, is punishing low recoveries. The thing about Orb is it's an active hitbox, but it kind of lags a little bit. It floats. It's very floaty. So what you can do with a lot of these Dalsim Sigs is put out those big hitboxes that are able to cover down Sig. Is a great way to burn a dodge or force another attempt to come back. And then, as we saw in the last game, the side sig was able to close out the stock. All in all, Dalsim, just a really, really solid pick, and something that I think a lot of players kind of go to instead of picking up Terrace. You know, everyone wants an axe right now, but maybe not everybody wants to play that hammer. So there you go. Everyone basically got a gauntlet. So it's cool to see Dalsim finding the success, but I want to see.
If you don't have gauntlets, you're just kind of like, what are you doing in this game?
You gotta have gauntlets, because if you don't, unless you don't play twos, but like twos gauntlets is so good, especially in regions like North America. You gotta have some gauntlets.
Yeah, gotta throw hands.
Gotta throw hands.
Can't throw hands, and you're just a guy who can't throw hands. That's kind of lame to me. Just saying, you know. If you can't throw hands, I'm gonna pick on you.
Dalsim's like, yeah.
You ain't got hands? I'm making fun of you every day. Every day. You got hands? Hey, buddy, hey, relax. I'm Dalsim. Hey. All right. Well, we're going to be figuring out what exactly was going on here. Have not gotten any notes from production. Shout out to production. Especially Last not doing his job, talking in my ear. But either way, yeah, we actually, since, you know, we are desperately to fill some time here, BCX.live, 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 BCX.live. Check it out, BCX.live. You can actually get your tickets right now. It's November 15th to the 17th. Definitely, you know, see what that's all about. BCX, if you've never been to a BCX, they are a lot of fun. Great production quality the entire way through. I was not there last year, but I certainly was jealous at home. So I'm the same. I spent the whole weekend being upset because Oh, okay, cool. All right, yeah, we had a, so anyway, outside of BCX, but, well, let me finish up about BCX here. It's here in Atlanta, right? It's a really great time. Are we at the same venue that we were last time, too? Okay, all right, so we're at the same venue, which is great. It's a nice little venue. You can actually just walk out. There's a hotel connected, and then you can just go to the mall right across. There's a lot of nice little stores right there, so yeah. It's a fun time. I really had a great time. The first year was here. Again, I wasn't here last year, and I sat at home jealous the entire time, and that's not a good feeling.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to find yourself in Skiff spot last year. Make sure you sign up for BCX at bcx.live. Get your tickets. I'll be there. It'll be my first BCX, and I'm very excited for that. But to continue on with the show, Mounir did take that game, so that was just a spectator bug. But nonetheless, we're going to be moving forward as Mounir has taken that game, and we get a swap off of the Petra onto the Mordex from Mevv. Not to spoil it too much here, but a very interesting pick. I think the Gauntlet's definitely working out. Maybe in the last game, kind of to what I was thinking is the Orb was finding a lot of difficulty getting in the game, so we're now switching over to the Scythe, which I think will have a lot better time versus the Mounir Gauntlet. So the narrative so far, Mounir's Gauntlet's really, really good pick, working out really well. We'll see how Mevv adapts. Yeah,
we dropped the cringe Orb and pick up the Chad Scythe. Yeah, man. I definitely didn't sound like a loser trying to say all that. My mind was going like a million miles a minute. But either way, we're getting right into this here. World's End. We're going to see how this plays out. So Mevv definitely kind of digging into pockets here a little bit, trying to look for an answer before going down potentially 3-1. And they just cannot get down to the stage.
Yeah, worrying about going down into the Elim side, worrying on how to get down to the stage, as you were saying. It's just getting juggled forever by Mounir on the Axe, which has been very, very aggressive to start off this game and doing so much damage here on the unarmed. Mevv has the gauntlets in hand. Mounir switches over to them with the dash up into the immediate side stick to get the unarmed there for Mevv. Mounir trying to call out a jump, didn't find it. The down light isn't able to KO, but you need an end light from Mounir, a side air, basically anything now, it will find a KO.
All right. Oh, okay, goes for a swing there, just barely missing out, but does get the follow-up, closing out that first stock here, and Mounir is looking good and composed, and just kind of close this out 3-1 here, so hopefully this Mordex pick from Mevv, you know, starts to kind of come to fruition here a little bit, starts to get that engine running, because it is not looking good to start things off.
Yeah, we haven't been seeing why you play Mordex, and I find that to be the combination of the Scythe and the Gauntlets, as well as the Sigs. We just haven't seen much of why we're swapping off, and Mounir has really picked off where he left off and just playing very, very aggressively and very smothering. I mean, in spots like this, Mevv really struggling to find any space, finally finding a side light into the recovery to close out that stock, but overall finding a lot of struggles versus not only the Axe, but also the Gauntlet Mirror, which is very unfortunate for Mevv.
There we go, pummeling back and forth here. Oh, okay, just barely missing out on that. Ooh. Okay, that's a couple drops here from Mounir, but honestly not a huge deal. I mean, he's really got Mevv on the back foot, so it's not like he's struggling. All right, unarmed, we'll take it. That's 2-1 now. And Mevv, this is your last stock here on the winner side of bracket, so you better start figuring out what you wanted to do with this Mordex, because it is not looking too good.
Yeah, and I mean, immediately having a swap back into the Gauntlet Mirror, which hasn't been working out. Mounir reversing the ground pound. Mevv in a bad spot. Can't pick up the weapon. Actually does, though, because the down air sends him down and flips it. Mounir now on last stock. Very clean stuff from Mevv. After getting hit by the down air, immediately picking up the weapon and getting the nair off. Very, very important to flip the scenario. And now Mevv, with the momentum, looks to try to get into Mounir's face, but Mounir back on the Axe makes this very, very difficult. Mevv breaking through with the side air into the recovery. A nice side light, a couple more reads. Mevv can get back in this game, but as I say that, landing with a down air into side air to close out that game, and Mounir takes the set 3-1. I didn't even have time to process. Mevv was really going, getting some big gauntlet strings, and then immediately just taking it.
Axe is sick.
Axe is sick.
Axe is sick. Don't hop on the Axe train now. You were just complaining about 20 minutes ago.